6 feet. That is all that stood between her and death, and that gap was closing. What happened next, nobody could have predicted. Stay, because this does not end the way you think.
Look into her eyes. You can see the fear.
Her hooves keep slipping. The mud pulls her down. Every move she makes only makes things worse.
Something massive is beneath the surface. It has been there for a while, watching, waiting. The river looks peaceful from a distance, but peace on the surface means nothing. Because
what you are about to see is one of the most dramatic animal rescues ever recorded. A battle between life and death.
This is a remote river valley, deep inside the jungle. Few people live here. The people here call one stretch of this river the dead zone. It is a place where the water never truly settles. A small village sits at the edge of the jungle, not far from the water. Life here is simple. This particular morning started like every other. The goats wandered out into the open field as always. One mini dairy goat drifted away from the herd. She was smaller than the others, young, curious. She had picked up a scent.
The ground changed beneath her hooves. The dry grass gave way to something softer, wetter.
The rest of the herd did not notice. They kept eating, kept moving, kept living their ordinary morning.
She reached the reeds. She started to eat. But when she tried to step back, her legs would not move.
Something in the water noticed her the moment she arrived. It always noticed. That was its nature. Beneath the surface, in the cold, dark water, something ancient stirred. A saltwater crocodile. It began to move. Slowly. Not in a hurry. It never needed to hurry.
Britic. The goat felt it before she could see anything. That ancient, electric fear that travels through every living...
She screamed, a sound that cuts right through you. She kicked, she pulled, she twisted in every direction. The crocodile surfaced fully now. Its massive head rested on the water like a floating log. Its eyes were fixed on her. The rest of the herd finally sensed the danger. In an instant, they scattered and ran. Hooves thunderous. She was alone. The herd was gone. The field was empty. Just her, the mud, the sweet. Her legs were buried deeper now, past her knees. Every kick, every pull, every desperate twist gulleteds. The crocodile moved closer, 15 feet, then 12, then 10. It barely disturbed the water as it came. Her cries were changing. The sharp screams were softening into something quieter, more desperate. From above, you could see exactly how close it had come. The space between them was shrinking by the minute. Her belly touched the water. The cold river was rising up around her body. She had only her head and neck above the surface now. The crocodile opened its jaw. Just slightly, just enough for the light to catch its teeth. It was not a threat. Everything about this moment said it was over. The mud, the beast, the distance, the silence.
Across the field, a young man stopped walking. He had heard something.
He ran, without thinking, without hesitating. His feet hit the ground hard. He did not slow down. 2 more villagers saw him running and followed. One grabbed a bamboo pole from beside a fence. Another snatched up a... They reached the top of the bank and stopped dead. Their faces went pale. What they saw below was worse. The goat was barely visible, just her head above the mud. Between them and her, it floated like a...
The young man shouted, loud and long. He waved his arms. He stomped his feet.
They threw stones, dozens of them, into the water around the beast. Each one splashed hard. Water flew up around the crocodile.
One man waded in, up to his knees in the cold water. He pushed the bamboo pole toward the goat.
The pole almost reached her, just inches from her face. She sniffed it. She pressed her nose against it. The rope flew through the air and landed across her back. For one breathless second, it looked like it might work. But the mud was too deep.
The crocodile turned its full attention to the man in the water. He bowed fast.
The three men stood at the edge of the bank, breathing hard, looking at each other.
The goat was barely holding on. Her eyes were half closed, her breathing shallow.
One man pulled out his phone, hands shaking. She dialed the number for an animal rescue organization in the nearest town.
2 hours, 120 minutes. The sun climbed higher. The air grew hotter.
Word spread through the village fast. People came running. Women, old men, children.
A young East Asian girl pushed to the front of the crowd. She stretched her little arm out toward the white domestic.
An old woman stood at the back. Her eyes were closed, her hands pressed together. Her lips moved in silence. The crocodile opened its jaw wide, a long, slow, deliberate display of what it was capable of. The crowd gasped. The goat made one more attempt. Her whole body shook with the effort. She let out a cry. One man checked his watch, then looked down the empty road. No dust cloud, no engine sound, nothing. The saltwater crocodile drifted closer. 4 feet now. The crowd on the bank instinctively surged forward. Then someone pointed down the road. A cloud of dust, growing fast, getting louder. The crowd turned as one. The rescue team was here. The truck stopped hard in a cloud of dust. 3 rescuers jumped out before the wheels fully stopped. The African-American male lead rescuer reached the bank first. He dropped to one knee, took in everything in seconds. The goat, the mud, the crocodile, the distance.
Equipment came out of the truck fast. A thick harness, metal stakes, a pulley system, long metal poles and lancers.
2 of them began setting up the pulley system above the bank. Stakes hammered into the ground, ropes threaded through. Helpless. The lead rescuer prepared to go in. His partner checked his harness. Double-checked it. They looked at each other with the kind of. The third rescuer moved to the far side of the bank, quietly, carefully, out of the crocodile's line of sight. His job was not to fight the beast.
She splashed hard, loud, deliberately. She yelled and waved her arms at the water. The crocodile's head turned.
The lead rescuer entered the water in that moment. Slow, controlled, every step measured. His eyes never left things. He reached her. His hands went into the mud, working quickly, gently, looping the harness beneath her chest. The harness was secured. He looked back at his team on the bank and gave a thumbs up. His hands were shaking. His boots were buried in. The crocodile had noticed the distraction was over. It turned back, eyes fixing once again on the goat. Its body began to move through the water. On the bank, 3 people grabbed the rope. They leaned back. Every muscle pulled tight. The rope went taut, vibrating with strain. The pulley groaned under the pressure. The stakes in the ground trembled. The rope vibrated like it was about to snap. The crowd had gone completely silent. Not a word, not a breath. Every single person watching was holding something inside.
Adding every ounce of his strength to the pull from above. His face twisted with effort, his body shaking. "Come on," he said through gritted teeth. "Come on!"
The crocodile was 3 feet away now. Its jaw was beginning to open. Time had run out. This was the final second. It was either now or never. Then came a sound unlike anything else. A deep, heavy, sucking pull as the mud began to let go.
And then she came free. All at once, with a crack silenced sounds.
The crowd exploded. Cheering, crying, screaming, grabbing each other. Strangers who had stood side by side. The male South Asian rescuer in the water did not wait. The moment the goat lifted free, he scrambled backward. The crocodile's jaw crashed shut. On nothing, on mud, on empty water. A sound like a heavy door.
The crowd gasped and fell back as one, then held its breath for one terrifying second.
The American alligator surfaced again after its failed lunge. It turned slowly, without urgency, and moved back toward the deeper water. Above the river, the goat swung gently in the harness. She was covered in dark mud, her legs limp with exhaustion. The lead rescuer pulled himself out of the water. People grabbed his arms, his shoulders, pulling him up.
They laid her down on dry, warm grass. A rescuer knelt beside her immediately, hands moving gently.
Minutes ago, she had been sinking into dark mud, surrounded by danger.
A rescuer cupped water in both hands and offered it to her. She sniffed it carefully, then began to drink. Her breathing slowed. The tight, rapid panic breaths gave way to something steadier. Her ears lifted slightly. One rescuer cleaned the mud from her face with a damp cloth. Gently, so gently. The goat blinked slowly as the mud was wiped from around her eyes.
And then she lifted her head, on her own, slowly, shakily, just a few inches off the ground.
The lead rescuer sat down beside her. He placed one hand lightly on her side and bowed his head.
One of the rescuers was crying, openly, tears running freely down her face. She did not wipe them away.
She stood. Her legs shook. She swayed left, then right. But she was standing, on her own four legs.
Wide. The little girl who had been crying at the bank stepped forward. Her small hand extended, trembling.
The goat sniffed the small hand, then pressed her nose into the child's palm. They had come to this riverbank as strangers, brought together by fear and helplessness. She stood in the sunlight, free. The river was still there behind her, calm.
Every person who came to that riverbank today gave something. Time. Courage.
Every animal on this earth feels fear. Every creature knows what it means to be trapped and unseen.